Hello everybody, today we're going to try a scone recipe, but it is for cheese scones, and this was sent to a subscriber, so thank you to you, you know who you are, and I really appreciate this recipe and the idea because it is really quite cool. I found it quite easy to make as well, and the recipe comes from the BBC. It's the BBC Good Food cheese scone recipe. I'll put it somewhere so you can see. And it is really straightforward. So it was just a mixture of flour, a little bit of salt, some butter, cheese, and that's essentially it. And it was really interesting to watch how the scones came out because I've never made scones before. So what I did was mix some butter with flour, and I mixed this together with my hands, just rather than whisking it or anything like that. To this, I added some mature cheddar. This was, I think, about 40 grams. And after trying them and seeing how they turned out, I would definitely add more cheese. This was the milk being added in, and as I said, I've never made scones before, so I don't know if the sweet scone recipe is the same, or I imagine it's similar at least. But after trying them, as I was saying, I would definitely add more cheese to them, or a stronger or a different type of cheese, because although I can taste it in the scones, it's not overly strong. So this was the recipe just as it says. So I didn't make any alterations, and I thought it would be best to do that because, as I said, I've never made scones before, and I didn't want to make too many changes now without knowing what the kind of base point or starting point of the recipe actually is. Because of this, there are a few changes I would make, the cheese being one, and a second one would be maybe to add something like, as my friend said, add some mustard or something like that, just to give it a bit of a kick and add more flavour, or some different spices, or maybe add 2 types of cheese. I'm not sure. I don't really know what would go very well with this. Maybe even some chopped apple. I really don't know. But they looked really cool when they were in the oven, as you can see. I did a little time lapse of them, and this is them out of the oven. So they only took about 12 minutes to cook. Another alteration I would make when doing them again would be that I would maybe cook them for about 1.5 minutes longer, just because I don't think they were 100% cooked. When they cooled down, they were perfectly fine, so it wasn't a major issue. It was just something that I noted when I first cut into them. As you can see here, the bottoms have browned up really nicely, so they did cook well. It's just they weren't 100%, but even so, they were still very edible and still very tasty. And yeah, I will definitely make this again, but as I said, I will use alterations, potentially even adding something like olives. That might be quite nice. I'm not sure. I'm not a big olive fan, but it could be worth trying. So I would definitely recommend this recipe if you like scones, especially if you haven't tried cheese scones before. It's very easy to follow, and I really liked it. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. If you try this recipe, let me know down in the comments how it goes for you, and yeah, see you in the next one.